Good morning, TFR.
Good morning.
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zach, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Rail Media is the best on the plane. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zach, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
It is Tuesday, my dudes.
Wake up! It is Tuesday, my dudes. Welcome to the Ironworx, right here on Truth Frequency Radio. My name is Josh Corey, and I am joined this morning by two of my very good friends and co-hosts. Starting off with one Mr. Walt Johnson. Walt, how are you doing? You doing all right?
Hey, Josh, what's up? TFR, what's up? Zachary, hello, everybody. It is Tuesday, my dudes, without a doubt. Had quite a busy weekend hanging out with the grandkids, and they had friends over, and it was their first good weekend in the pool, and so, yeah, it's been pretty crazy. Pretty crazy, and definitely feeling like Grandpa, all wore out. So, yeah, definitely feeling my age. There's anything that lets you know how old you are, go hang out in the pool for a couple of 6 hours with the grandkids. Yep, without a doubt. But we had a blast. Definitely needed that energy. Glad to get back home, without a doubt. It is loosening up around here a bit. Their mother is recently, she has recently become a member of the nursing force out there. She was going through school and got into a position just as all the current madness began, so she jumped in hook, line, and sinker. So luckily, while I was gone, it got really crazy over there. Shell wasn't allowed to go visit or any of that for a couple of weeks, maybe going on a month, and then when she could go visit, there was no physical contact with the grandkids, and just, really craziness that I probably would have gotten really fed up with and been very ugly about eventually. So it's probably good that I wasn't here during the height of all of the madness with all of that. So, but even she, being in the medical field, has, seen the reason of, hey, there's just not any evidence for what they say is going on anymore. So anyway, yeah, good weekend. Glad to be back. Good to see you folks. Still trying to log in to chat to see who's actually here. Are we here or are we on YouTube? Where are we at, man? Where are we?
We're both.
Both of those. I like it. All right. Well, hello, YouTube.
Voynich is over there on YouTube hanging out with Zach. Pretty quiet over.
Cool. Well, let's say hey to Zach, and then we'll talk about YouTube.
Let's say hello to Zach, because we are also joined by one Mr. Zachary Zabala, or Good Times for All. They're on YouTube. Zach, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, Josh. Hey, Walt. Hey, everybody out there in TFR land. Well, it was a interesting weekend. We were running around like chickens with our heads cut off. We had a huge windstorm come through. Saturday, we had pictures taken. They had, I wouldn't call her a professional, but a professional came by and took pictures. And a big windstorm came by and just like decimated the backyard and the front yard. Just leaves everywhere, sticks down everywhere. And we had people coming by yesterday to look at the house. 3 sets of people. Actually, there were supposed to be more, but T-Mobile went wonky out here, and Bob and the realtor both had T-Mobile, and text weren't working, so they couldn't get a hold of them like the first whole half of the day. So I guess there was a couple more people that didn't get to see it, and yada, 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 this and that. But the first people that came by to see it put down an offer. They wanted it. A nice couple. They had a big family. Second set of people came through. I don't think they made an offer. And then some guy called last night out of the blue and said, "Hey, I'll give you $2,000 over asking price because I'm tired of getting beat trying to haggle with people and trying to get a better price." People are just, I guess, houses out here are going real quick. And he's been beat out a few times trying to haggle and get the price down. So he just gave $2,000 over asking price and said, hasn't even seen the house. He's just like, the pictures look nice and I'm not losing this one. Here's the money. So it sold in less than 24 hours.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was, kind of mind blowing. Bob just came walking upstairs like, "Yep, sold. This guy just offered." I was like, "What do you mean this guy? Who?" He's like, "Nope, hasn't even seen the place." So yeah, that's my kind of house selling right there.
That's the way.
Because it is. It's such a pain in the butt when you have to be ready to go in an hour to have the house spotless and, for you to be gone so people can come in and look. And the window's like an hour. And it's a pain in the butt when you have to do it 3 different times throughout the day, But yeah, so that was nice and easy. That's how house selling should be, minus all the money crap. But yeah. So yeah, eastward bound, we shall be here real soon. I'm excited.
I'm excited for you guys. That's just awesome. There's been a lot of cell phone wonkiness going on lately, where there's been lots of different outages. And I think what they're doing is getting this COVID tracker installed on everybody's phone. And they're putting it in there deep. Like,
nah, you can turn it off. Haven't you heard? Everybody can tell you. You just
right.
ask them. You can turn it off.
Just turn it off, sure. I mean, we've created it so you can't even
just
get it out of me. Even if you root the phone, even if you gain root access to your phone, you still cannot extract that COVID tracker out of there. But there's definitely different ways they'll tell you can shut it off. And I've definitely done it because better safe than sorry. But, yeah, it's interesting that T-Mobile was down recently. I think Bob needs to go in there and double check and make sure he doesn't have that COVID tracker turned on now.
I had a text yesterday because we had our last show in last night at like 7:45 and they never even showed up. But we went to Dairy Queen, came back. I got a text, "How was your Dairy Queen visit?" Have you ever gotten one of those yet?
I don't think so.
Wait, what was it again? I'm sorry. I'm still having trouble hearing you.
I went to the Dairy Queen drive-thru. We all went through the drive-thru. And when we got back, I got a text on my phone asking me how my Dairy Queen was.
Wow, I never got a text. I didn't.
That was the first time.
Yeah, when I didn't understand exactly what was going on with Pokemon in the early days, I didn't realize, they were tracking every step I took. I started getting messages from in my Outlook, or not Outlook, in my what's it called, that map thing, Google Map thing. Like when I would go to it to look up an address or go to it to see if a business was open or something like that, it would show me, like he would ask me, "You were here recently. How do you know about this place?" Or like something like that. It's like, okay, so now they're actually watching everything I do. So I learned if I was going to play my game, I was going to give up all my privacy. But that, yeah, I've never gotten a text like that saying, hey, how did you like this place?
No, that'd piss me off.
No, I would have to call somebody.
Uh-huh.
Phone company.
Yeah, I wasn't happy. It was Google Maps that sent it to me.
So they're doing text now. Interesting. Like I said, they used to send me those
came
messages in the app, but not as a text.
It came as a message. It was weird.
That's fucked up.
Real weird.
And how recently has your phone been updated?
It did that automatic update bullcrap a couple weeks ago.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
It would not let me not do it either.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been told by the phone company that my phone is old enough now to where it will no longer receive updates. That was sent out to me probably late last year. And beginning of this year, sometime after I got to Oregon, I guess, it started telling me that there was an update available to me. And I figured it had something to do with the tracer crap. So, but it's not forcing it through so far. It's still sitting there waiting for me to approve it. So I guess it's my phone's at such an age that it's still kind of ignoring it, maybe. I know they've turned off a lot of support, speaking of Pokemon, or at least they were working on turning off support for some of the older 32-bit systems just so they can build out going forward without having to, accommodate some of the older cantankerous operating systems. But that, again, could all just be a way to sneak that crap in on us. Who knows? Who knows? They do it anyway. It don't matter. You've got a personal satellite assigned to you. The balloon follows you everywhere you go. Haven't you figured that out yet?
I wouldn't doubt it in your case, Walt.
Thanks. Yeah, that's it. I need that extra layer of paranoia added to things.
Walking around, looking up in the sky every couple seconds.
Well, how was your Father's Day?
That's it. Oh yeah, happy Father's Day, gentlemen. I apologize.
And happy Father's Day to all the fathers that are out there that we didn't actually speak to, or pre-wish it from our Friday show. Speaking of our Friday show, amazing. Augie, Martin Leake was there, and my goodness, we kind of just did here's what's going on in history, sum up of it all kind of thing, which was really what I wanted. I wanted to get kind of the roundup on where he's come with all of the, literally at this point, years of research he's done on our hidden past. And yeah, when you kind of hear it all laid out, it's pretty telling on what we're all experiencing right now, what's going on in the skies above us, especially coming up on this solstice we just had that won't happen again, and this ring of fire, and just lots of interesting astronomical coinkydinks. That's all it is, right? Just coinkydinks.
Unless we died on Sunday again.
What happened?
Maybe we died on Sunday, the end of the world, because they forgot to carry the one the first time they calculated the Mayan calendar. Yeah, 6/21/20. Again. Yeah.
How many times have we passed on?
Oh, I'm sure we'll miscalculate this one too, and it'll pop back up here in a few years. That's how they like to do.
All right, I have to shut what I'm doing down because it's causing me some kind of issue here. It might be why I can't hear you guys.
Well, let's give a shout out to everybody there in the chats, plural, which I do like. Alan, the Alan Holman, line producer of this very show. We appreciate all that Alan does. David R.B. just posted up sitting quietly there in the TFR chat. Enlightened Dawn, Douglas Falk, Liz, the Iron Maiden. Good morning, all.
Man, everybody's over at TFR, and I'm still not there. I'm over at YouTube, so hi, YouTube. I see you guys. I'm actually logged in under the Iron Realm Media account because I was attempting to send an email to a potential guest. As I told you guys, I'm working on getting a recent guest of Beth Martin's, if you're familiar with her work over there. She had Jerry Mrzinski on, and it was an amazing show, and I want to have him over here so you guys can get to know what he talks about and some of the things he's uncovered in his work, and definitely due to my weekend of just way too much fun and recovering from that, I have yet to send that email. But instead of trying to work on that during the show, I'm going to turn all that off because it is causing me trouble. But I promise you, this week he will have an email, and hopefully he'll be here Friday. If not, we'll work on getting him here next week.
Yeah,
so my apologies to you guys and to Jerry for not following through like I should have this weekend.
Well, that's all right. I can hardly fault a fella for being a bit procrastinative. That's a word.
You go, vocabulator. I like it. All right. I like it. I'm writing that one down.
No, I would like to, I really like to pick Jerry Marzinski's brain. I don't know what he thinks about the shape of the earth, but I'd be awfully interested to hear what his take on the psychology of this flat earth movement that's come about over the last half a decade or so.
No doubt.
I'd rather him look into it first. And
see, I didn't even think about that aspect. You're right, Zach. We should get him digging in on that. Well, that's what I might do in the email then, kind of throw that at him like, look, here's kind of where we are. I don't know where you are on it, but we would definitely like to have your input on what's going on with it for sure. So, yeah, maybe I should give him more of a heads up than, hey, show up Friday. So thanks for that idea. Thank you, really, truly. Because all I was thinking about was just his topic and how it touches me personally and a lot of our listeners. And so, yeah, but definitely getting his spin on it, if you will.
His professional opinion on the psychology of it all. Yeah, I'd be pretty interested. That and the psychology of this COVID stuff. The psychology of everything that's been going on, really. I think that'd be pretty interesting. Have somebody kind of break it down for us. Shout out there to Flat Fact. They're in the YouTube chat as well, along with Diva and Daz. And of course, Ispy Nasalies.
Absolutely. Voynich was there early. Shout out to being first. Endeavor, it seems like there's a lot of yeah, hang on, man. I think what I should do is just completely close all this other stuff. I'm just lagging and logging and having issues. My apologies, everybody, if it's causing me to have issues, because I'm having issues on my computer for sure.
So far, so good.
You guys know who, oh, brain fart.
Uh-oh.
Dwayne Kellum. Hot air balloon guy.
Yes. Hi, Walt. We hear you.
Well, he put out a video, I believe, either Saturday or Sunday. And nothing spectacular. Another balloon launch. And I noticed, but he had all the data along the bottom. So you could see every second of it, you know, the temperatures, the pressures, all that kind of neat stuff. And I threw him a question, hey, have you ever attempted measuring the electric field in one of those? I'd love to get some information from a credible source about what's going on up there. And in a day, he got back to me and said, hey, that's a good idea. I'll do some research and look into it.
That's awesome.
So hopefully I've planted a little seed there. And I did some looking. Man, imagine that the new technology that they have isn't as good as the old technology. The fiber optic, laser, blah, 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 is garbage compared to putting 2 capacitor plates in there. Just 2 metal plates. And then some measuring equipment on that. Now I'm thinking if you could somehow get it up there and discharge it every so often, somehow, maybe into a battery, I don't know. There's got to be a way. But the 1906 method is by far the best method we have as of right now.
That reminds me of the first couple of things I was looking at early on back in, 2014, 15? When did we start this craziness? Anyway, when I was trying to figure out, okay, flat, that's crazy. So I'm looking at other sources of seeing this alleged flatness, and rather than go to NASA and all the ones who have a vested interest, I found footage of a guy climbing the top of one of these huge, huge towers, like thousands of feet up. Freestyle climb, hardly even clipping anywhere, like nuts stuff. Made my stomach hurt watching it. But while he's climbing this huge tower, thousands of feet up, once he gets up to a certain level, there's these weird projections coming off the tower all around it. Weird little things poking out with weird little antenna things poking out of these antennas, multi prongs, and all this shit I've never seen before. My first instinct was, wow, that looks like some Tesla shit. Free energy device. And of course, yeah, there you go. They're sucking it out of the atmosphere up there, and we're not seeing it because it's way up there. So, yeah, I wouldn't doubt that balloons have some kind of way to. It's probably how they stay up. They can't keep a balloon up that long, and they wouldn't be able to power it and keep it charged or how to control it. Yeah, that's probably the secret right there. They're picking up their own energy up there.
Seems like
somebody did a really, was it Flat Earth Brothers maybe? On balloons. But no, Martin was talking a lot about balloons Friday. The dirigibles.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they've gotten rid of them.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I had a military member, somebody who was, he was in the field, but he worked a lot with military intelligence. And he said, man, they've been using airships this whole time. The military, he said, Space Force will be on airships. He said they have them, they're huge, they're the length of 5 football fields, and once they get up in the air, you don't see them anymore. They can go up to just 70,000 feet, and you could have your best camera ever, and you're not going to see these things. They're like translucent in color. He said, yeah, once you get that high, you can do whatever you want. People down on the ground can't see you. But he says they have huge dirigibles up there with platform bases. I don't know. I don't know if it's true, but all this dirigible talk now, and Martin really brought that back into my brain. Talking about there's a reason that they, the Hindenburg and all that stuff and all the helium NASA uses.
Right, without a doubt. I know it's not really almost break time. I just finally got to chat over here on TFR, and it's already almost break time. Hello, chat.
3 minutes.
Hello, Alan. My goodness, that's nuts.
Well, yeah, James True
Yes, Daz is correct. NASA does buy most of the helium. They are the helium guys, without a doubt.
And James True just did a show on this. The helium usage in the balloons.
I kind of need to catch up with James.
Yeah, that's it. Clowns in space. That's right.
And of course, it's probably based on this recent push. I guess they did a press release for new tourism for space. However, it will be done in a balloon. I have a story here, but that's pretty much sums it up. Got some funky ass pictures in there, though. Artist's illustration of the view from inside Space Perspective's Starship Neptune capsule.
Starship Neptune?
Yep.
Well, what does space have to do with water and oceans? Come on, that's illogical.
I just don't get it. What's the connection?
What is the connection?
Well, yeah, they say Auguste Piccard, once he, it was James True, once he realized he went up the first time, he came back down and he started studying submarines.
Yes, he did.
How to adapt into a higher pressurized system, not a lower pressurized system. He started studying how to get into a higher pressurized system. So there's something up there that's, I don't think we even have to go very high to start figuring stuff out. They put our lid on us at 50,000 feet, and you can't go higher than that. And there's something up there. There is. Just the air itself, I think, is special up there. Would answer so many questions. He said he brought back air from up there, atmosphere, and it glowed blue in the tubes.
Huh.
So yeah, I would do the Picard thing. I ain't jumping on top of no rocket ever, but you put me in a submarine and float it up, I'd go up there. I want to see it. Yeah, it freaked them out. They thought he was dead. It was supposed to be a 12-hour trip or something like that, and it ended up being almost 18 hours. It got so hot up there that he couldn't come back down. The gas just kept expanding and making them go higher and higher. Yeah, that had to be freaky.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, he learned a lot while he was up there that one time.
Well, he may have lost the YouTube feed. I'm not entirely sure.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. It switched over to my personal account on my Google Chrome, which threw everything off. I think it logged me out of the IRM account on YouTube.
Do I hear break music?
You do hear break music.
Okay, because my clock is totally off again. Don't understand. We have got to figure this one out.
I'm still seeing this on YouTube.
Oh, well, excellent. I won't do much of anything then. We'll be right back after these brief messages.
It's amazing how people have been raving about ILife all over Facebook. They've been posting their testimonials just because they want to get the word out because it's worked so well for them. If you're not familiar with ILife, it's a 99% pure CBD oil, but the secret is the synergy between the hemp and the ayahuasca vine, the non-psychoactive component of the ayahuasca tea. We recently received an email from a wife whose husband has Parkinson's. For the first time, he's been able to sleep through the entire night. Another customer reported that they're no longer using NSAIDs because their tennis elbow has been relieved with ILife. The reports have been phenomenal and much more than we ever expected. Everyone should have access to this. That's why if you head on over to ILife.com right now and use coupon code TFR, we'll give you $5 towards your order. And we'll even ship it worldwide. That's ILife.com, AYA life.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
If you have hard water, the Lime Scale not only leaves white spots, it clogs pipes and breaks down appliances, costing you hundreds of dollars in energy and wear. Eliminate Lime Scale and other water issues like brown staining and bad odors with HydroCare water products, available from Wave Home Solutions. Wave's affordable water systems don't use salts or chemicals. You'll love the way your water tastes, smells, and looks. Satisfaction guaranteed. For more information, go to bestwater123.com. That's bestwater123.com.
Hey everyone, it's Mark Sargent from Strange World, broadcasting live every Tuesday evening, 10 to 12 Eastern, 7 to 9 Pacific, right here on True Frequency Radio. Strange World covers a wide range of topics, from enclosed world theory to lunar waves to the end of the world in film. It's basically doomsday with a silver lining. With the audience as my co-host, we take an optimistic approach to all things conspiracy and promote confidence, hope, and humor whenever possible. If there's a topic you want us to cover or a guest you would like to see interviewed, please email me at msargent23@comcast.net. So please join me and tell your friends about Truth Frequency Radio, the leader in real radio programming, bringing you quality, cutting-edge broadcasts from around the world.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
You're listening to Truth Frequency Radio.
We are TFR.
And welcome back to the Ironworx.
Nice. Needed some good guitar. Thank you, Josh.
Well, I finally broke down and watched one of the trailers for the new Bill and Ted.
I have yet to, because I'm so scared they're going to screw it up.
Couldn't quite tell from the trailer. It's worth at least watching the trailer because it doesn't give enough to tell us if they're going to screw it up.
So, speaking of guitar, and before I forget, and a double observation. First, there's a picture that went through from one of our old thumbnails from when we had Chad Swans on as a guest, asking a Freemason, purist evil, or nice guy. You decide. And turns out Chad was an amazingly nice guy, and we sure do need to get in touch with him, get his take on the world of late, see what he has to say about it, just catch up with him. Now, the picture includes these steps on a wall going into the distance. And because of the graphic you put on it, I can't see everything, but the first few steps say Tuscan, Doric, and Ionic. Dorian and Ionic are two of the scales we still use in music that produce very specific emotions when they are used in music. Just wonder what this wall is and what it represents.
It is interesting.
Don't have a clue. Never saw it till, other than the picture we used it for. Don't know what it represents. I bet Chad would. So we'll need to get in touch with him.
And I'm pretty sure it was just one of those basic Freemason boards that I pulled up off the interwebs.
Yeah, I guess I'm sure there's lots of symbolism there. Just wonder what the Ionic and Doric and all that mean in relation to their steps. I know what it means also in relation to the music, but anyway. In chat, our friend and longtime associate, Ipsy Nasleys, also known as I Spy Nathalai Candy, apparently has pictures and videos she took of the moon recently, moving across the sky in seconds, being huge and moving across the sky in seconds. Interesting. Lots of weird things have been caught of late with the moon. In fact, while I was in Oregon, I got to noticing something about the moon, that it seemed like as it was approaching at moonrise, it was faster than when it would get to, how will I explain what position? I guess at about 45 degrees, I guess, in the sky, or just a little bit less than 45, at about 11 o'clock or so in the sky. I don't know, however you want to position it. But before it would get straight overhead, it would literally slow down. And from that point on, for the next position of about a third of the sky overhead, it would be a lot slower. And then as it would get towards moonset and dawn or whatever, it seemed like it would speed up again. And we're constantly asked, well, if all these things are so close, wouldn't they change relative position and orientation to you in the sky visually overhead? Well, they're speeding up and slowing down for damn sure. Because Paul even commented, my brother commented on it one night as we sat in the living room, and he was looking out the window. He kept holding his fingers up, like pinching his fingers together. And I'm like, what are you measuring in the sky? And it's like, I'm watching the moon. I didn't realize it moved that fast, that I can hold my finger up and it's out of my finger position in seconds. And I'm like, well, that sounds unusual, because even when I set up a telescope, it takes a little, longer than that for it to move out of position. So he even, noticed it, that it was moving a lot faster than normal. So signs and portents, it would seem. Candy's looking for this footage, and I told her to send it to us on Telegram so we can share it with everybody in chat at least, and we'll have it maybe on our show Friday over there on YouTube, so you can see it with us.
Yeah, this new moon we just had was an important one in the Hebrew calendar.
Oh, tell us more.
The first new moon after the solstice. In Psalms 81, it tells you to blow your shofar in Hehodesh, the moon's renewal. 3 moons to Yom Teruah.
I'm guessing shofar doesn't mean the guy that drives you around.
No, shofar is the the yak's horn turn into a trumpet type.
That makes much more
like
sense.
an actual horn.
I'm much more
I have a
comfortable
small
with
one. Mine's about 8 inches. Jack has one that's like 3 feet long, a couple of them. But yeah, they go out and make some noise on the important new moon. So the Hebrew calendar, he'll go out and he'll blow his shofar every time he sees the new moon for the first time. That's the cool part about the Hebrew calendar. It wasn't like today where everybody saw the new moon in that area, at least. But worldwide, it's different now because you see a new moon here on this day, and other people might not see it till the next day, depending on where they are and the sun and this and that and all that kind of stuff. So it's really the Hebrew calendar, people don't follow it correctly. Some people do. But as far as like for business and stuff like that, they've really commercialized it. It's not an intimate thing between you and nature anymore. It's a holiday. It was supposed to mean something at one time. Not you just go out and make some noise and go eat dinner with your family and this and that. There's supposed to be a spiritual connection here, and they've removed all of that. But yeah, it's supposed to be between you and the moon, not between the people living in the Middle East, in Jerusalem and the moon, worldwide, but wherever you are in the world. That's when it's meant for you. Yeah, it's a much more spiritual. Yeah, they've taken the spiritual side out of everything. But yeah, Jack and his family, he sent me a text last night telling me to go make some noise. But yeah, I don't know if they teach this stuff in, Talmud school, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, Jack follows things, to the T that the Torah says. Yeah, and it's wild how far they've removed us from nature. We are closer to the machines we create now than the flesh and blood that we actually are, mentally. Everybody's on a time clock. Everybody's all synced together. And it's not supposed to be like that. Okay, my rant's over. I'm sorry.
I enjoy a good Zachary.
Absolutely. I was trying to get the music to go like, what? Dude, this is awesome. I love it. Hell yeah. We've reversed our roles a bit. I've become a little bit more chill, and you got some rage in you, my friend. I like it.
Just a little bit. Yeah, I'm getting excited about this garden. How's the garden doing, Josh? Have you been caring and loving your plants?
I have been caring and loving my plants. Go out there and talk to them. Thank them for their contribution. Let them know that it's going to a worthy cause, that we're going to make the most out of what it is they offer to us. And they've been offering some excellent little snap peas are coming in. They're going to start really rolling in here soon, but we've gotten a couple handfuls out of them so far. The zucchini still got maybe a little bit more time, a little bit more growth. It's getting scary because I'm starting to lose some. Like, literally, I can't find out where they went. The growth is just ridiculous. And tomatoes are really good. It's kind of funny because it's with the tomatoes you can really tell when I added fertilizer. Because you have all this kind of slower growth, big, thick, dense, because there's 3 plants in this 6-foot round bed. And you can tell that it was kind of a slower growth. Then all of a sudden there's like 12 inches and they just shoot out. So, and it's a little bit thinner, but the stems and the stalks are really long. So you can tell that it just really had some massive growth right there. So it's just really interesting to be able to see in time when it was I added the fertilizer and see it in the actual growth of the plants. But we had some bugs that were eating our Brussels sprouts. We figured some sort of worm or caterpillar.
Those big green caterpillars.
Yeah, I mean,
they call them tomato worms. They'll just decimate your tomatoes.
Mm-hmm. We've been doing really well so far. We found a nice little organic spray. You just spritz them on there once every few weeks. Like, I think they said no more than 10 times a season. But that's worked really well. I've been spraying with hydrogen peroxide.
How are your zucchini? No stink bugs yet?
Nope, no stink bugs.
Wow. Missouri's the place to go then. I could not go half a summer or even get to summer without getting stink bugs started.
You know,
it was like a slow fight for the next half of the summer trying to keep the plants alive.
And it usually is, now that you say that. Usually they're thick. They're coming in through the windows. They're coming in every crack they can squeeze through. And we're having to fight them and flush them. And it's a real pain in the ass. And I saw a couple early in the season. And I thought, geez, it's a little early for you guys to be out. Didn't think quite be warm enough for you yet. But okay, there you are. Shit. Guess it's going to be a crap season for them. And no, I haven't seen any in a good long while, especially around the zucchini. I mean, we sprayed them, so they should be keeping all the little bugsies off of there. I don't know, I hope. Doing well so far. But yeah, no stink bugs. That is interesting. And the Brussels sprouts are starting to come back. I mean, they looked much better immediately. The next day, they really perked up. But the snap peas had some little yellow leaves down at the bottom. Like there's not enough drainage maybe in that one box, or there's just something growing in that soil. So I added some of that hydrogen peroxide, sprayed it all down, and it looks like that might be doing the trick. Might have to hit it again here soon. But yeah, so far I got tomatoes are not quite red yet, but lots of green tomatoes on, lots of flowers, no big tomatoes. Everything's so far just the cherries, but.
Any cucumbers?
Nope, no cucumbers. Those went in late. Those went in really late. And the first batch didn't take. Dixie waited too long, and I think there might have been something. I don't think she watered them after she put them in the dirt. I don't know. So she had to get some more. But they're doing good. They're just behind the curve.
Got some little yellow flowers and stuff?
Nope, not even yet. Not even yet.
That's not a good sign. Well, now because the solstice means plants are done growing. They're going to go into bloom here. Once the days start getting shorter and that sunlight gets less, the plants, they know. And so they're no longer trying to grow as big as they can grow this year. Now they're going to start putting everything into the fruit to try to make new seeds to then, extend the whatever, make babies so they can make new plants and yada, 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 and start the process all over. So, yeah, plants need to be mature by this date. It's important that they hit their maturity date. It should be illegal. Well, it shouldn't be illegal, but there should be a warning if you're selling people plants right now to go plant in a garden. I mean, they shouldn't even, once May's over, I'm usually, if I didn't plant it, unless it's lettuce or something that has a short, maturity date, then it's like trying to plant potatoes in, May. It doesn't work. You got to do it in March. They have that long growing season. They need to get mature.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, people, I mean, I see a lot of people make this mistake. They'll decide to do their very first garden, and they'll start it in like July. It's like, no, you can't do that. And then they get all frustrated because they didn't have any vegetables or fruits. It's a common mistake. I mean, unless you know how plants work and this and that. I didn't think it. I thought I could plant any time of year. But yeah, that sun, the amount of light. Now you maybe, well, if you had them in something you could move them to somewhere else where they got more light than they were getting to extend that process a little bit. But yeah, it's like an alchemical process. It's got to go through all the certain stages to get to that end point. And in one of the stages, doesn't get its full time in before, the water starts boiling, then it's done right there. You can't finish baking the cake. It's amazing. Everything works this way. Everything. Same as us. We can't go and produce children until we hit, that maturity date. We have to get mature enough. The body has to go through certain processes, and then we can start making children. But we live a lot longer than a year. So you really got to time it out just right.
That's really interesting. I'm going to have to pay attention to these damn cucumbers. See what the hell they do.
Yeah, my sister, she's not getting any cucumbers because she planted 4 in one pot. Lots of pretty flowers, though. She has lots of pretty flowers, my mom said. Same thing with the peppers. I was like, I told her. She's like, yeah, I know, I did too. They're hers. She can do whatever she wants with them. She keeps saying how pretty they are. Like, well, yeah. All plants are pretty. You just got to look at them.
We Dixie's boss to plant a garden. Something for she and her kids to do. I guess, and the husband too. They took... Well, it was basically the same kind of raised bed that we bought. But it was only one section. Where we have, 9 sections. But it's 4 foot by 4 foot square. And they planted, I think, 6 different kinds of herbs, cucumbers and tomatoes, multiple plants, mind you, peppers, and they just basically jammed it all in this little 4x4 box. So I'm going to be real curious to see what comes up out of there. Dixie tried to suggest to her that, you might want to space those out. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll tell you when you buy the plant. You read those little letters on it. Tells you exactly how much room to give them, how much sunlight they should have. Yeah, I mean, it won't give you, the whole history of the plant or anything, but it'll tell you kind of what to do. I didn't listen to it the first time I did it, so I'm not knocking her. I planted all kinds of crap all together, and I think I got some tomatoes my first year. I planted like everything. I had cucumbers that were like a ½ inch long. It was so pitiful looking. Yeah, they need room to grow.
Yeah, I like the raised beds. It's nice for the weeds. But I also would like to try, the other end of the spectrum. I'd like to have enough property where I could just, throw handfuls of seeds out there and just let everything take over and do it and go and just run with it, and whatever happens, happens. And just have massive amounts of stuff. But walk through.
I was thinking about doing some guerrilla gardening.
Yeah, I've been just considering that as well.
Finding some woods. You know, like if you were to try to go live out in the woods, you don't want to clear a big giant area and, you know, have your things all nice in rows and this and that. That kind of defeats the purpose of, you know, being off grid and this and that. I mean, if you're far away from stuff, that's one thing. But if you're in a place where there are people around and you don't want to be bothered, the best way to do it is to just plant one plant in a certain place and then another, you know, couple plants over here. You don't have them all jumbled together. You'd have them spread out throughout, like a path that you walk along each day or something like that. I've been thinking about that. Or just going along highways and planting whatever, just throwing seeds down, Johnny Appleseed style.
Yep.
I think we need to do that with hemp. We need to bring hemp back. There's so many good properties to hemp. We need to get rid of this cotton nonsense business and cutting down all these trees.
Maybe with this whole new cancel culture and everybody's righteous indignation over anything the slightest bit racist, we can finally do away with cotton and usher hemp back in.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Isn't it?
Oh, my God. Make it a race thing.
Yeah.
I'm never wearing cotton again. Oh. Even though I don't like wearing polyester. I would much rather wear cotton.
Yeah, I'm never going to not wear cotton, but still.
Yeah. Yeah, give me hemp. Cotton for slaves. Ooh.
There you go.
Yeah,
Hemp
the
is
new
for
thing,
humans.
people, if you're one of the people that don't wear a mask when you walk around, you're like breathing fresh air, and somebody tells you, this is something I'd like to try. Nobody's ever said anything to me about wearing a mask. Even when I walk into places where it, like, says you have to, they don't even say nothing. But someone asks you, hey, why don't you say, oh, I'm immune. You haven't heard about the immunity? And if just, you know, people all over started saying that, it would hit social media, and that would be the new news about this immunity.
I got the vaccine. I got the COVID-10T vaccine.
COVID-10T. I love that.
I mean, it was 9 COVIDs ago, but interestingly enough, it makes me immune to COVID-19 as well.
Yeah, I got 2 more COVIDs to go, and then I got to get renewed.
That's it. Turns out I don't have to get another vaccine until, let me check my punch card. Ooh, sweet. COVID-21 is when I get my next vaccine. My next COVID-10T vaccine. My COVID-10T booster.
Every 2 license renewals. You got to get your COVID-idiot.
Your COVID-idiot card, yeah. Your COVID-idiot punch card.
Sorry, COVID-10T.
COVID-10T, right.
Oh, that's great. That's priceless. Oh, that is just too great.
Because for every 7 COVIDs, you get a free vaccine. And you just can't beat a deal like that. Thank you, COVID-10T.
This had to be so hard to try to do back in the 30s. All the social programming.
So we're at about a break. That's going to be about halfway.
Oh, wow, we are.
Yeah, it's like right there. Should be hearing music any minute now.
Well, Candy sent pictures of the moon, and they're pretty crazy. It's huge, and it's doing that thing where it looks like the part that's not lit is actually just not there. You know, it's like bent and angled away. It's that weirdness that we can't explain. Anyway, all right, I'll shut up. Let them pay some bills.
Do it. There it is. There's the break music. Anyway, this is Zach and Walt and Josh hanging out here on the Ironworx right here on Truth Frequency Radio. Shout out to all the Iron Scouts across the plain, all of our family. We'll be right back after these briefest of messages.
Censorship and regulation is becoming an ever-growing problem in today's modern media. From the mainstream to YouTube and Google, the information you're looking for is buried by official narratives and propaganda. This is why TFR is 100% uncensored, unregulated, and listener-supported. The shows on TFR are not micromanaged by the station, and our hosts are free to speak their minds however they please. As such, the views and opinions expressed on our station are of those who make them. If you happen to hear anything offensive on TFR, please send us an email to toughtitty@tfrlive.com, and we'll be happy to tell you that we really don't give a damn. We stand for freedom of speech and non-censorship. If you also stand for free speech, you can go to tfrlive.com/signup and sign up for a TFR supporter pass and help us in our mission to keep the airwaves uncensored and unregulated. TFR Live, your uncensored and unregulated protection from deception.
Unrest near the White House. I'm Jack Callahan, Fox News. Police in Washington, D.C. clashing overnight. Gangs of people trying to take control of the district's Lafayette Square Park.
Protesters attempting to create what they're calling a Black House autonomous zone right outside of the White House, putting up fencing, large garbage cans to build a barrier of sorts. The zone letters spray painted on the columns at the historic St. John's Church.
Fox's Jackie Ibanez reports there was also an attempt to pull down a statue of President Andrew Jackson, but it was foiled by police. A handful of reporters ushered off the White House lawn Monday evening. The Secret Service says for their own safety as violence peaked across the street. The agency later said they should have been taken inside instead. President Trump says he intends to act against groups defacing monuments across the country.
We're going to do an executive order, and we're going to make the cities guard their monuments. This is a disgrace.
The president in an interview with the EWTN network saying he wants to save jobs for Americans. The president has extended a ban on certain visas for travel to the U.S.
The president's executive order extends and expands current immigration restrictions on certain visas, putting Americans first in line for jobs. Now, they include the H-1B and H-2 visas related to guest worker programs, but it adds some J and L visas related to education exchanges and executive transfers, prompting swift condemnation from all across the tech corridor. Twitter, among them, blasting the announcement, saying this proclamation undermines America's greatest economic asset, its diversity.
Fox's Griff Jenkins. Today, the president will inspect a section of the border wall near Yuma, Arizona, and talk border security with local leaders. The government says 216 miles of wall are done, with another 350 miles under construction. Dow futures rising, up nearly 200 points. Asian markets closing Tuesday higher, as did Wall Street on Monday. America is listening to Fox News.
You are now tuned into the Truth Frequency.
We are TFR. TFR.
Truth Frequency Radio.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up!
What is dark matter?
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. afraid of course, there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
Space is hard.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Welcome back to the Ironworx, right here on Truth Frequency Radio, hour number 2. Right here on a Tuesday morning. Josh, Walt, Zach hanging out. We actually have some stuff in this pile of space lettuce.
Ooh, space lettuce. Yeah, I saw a bunch of nonsense. I swear Google aims it at us, or at least me. It's like every article is NASA or SpaceX or Discovery Science. Oh, I heard some good nonsense. I'm going to have to go find it.
Let's see. I know I had some stuff besides just another story of space tourism in a balloon. Pretty sure that wasn't anything new. But Walt's been on it. He's been all kinds of stuff.
I threw a thing or 3 at the wall to see what would stick, and a lot of crap actually did. Let me go dig around in the pile. As I just told Don and Chad, I've been doing a lot of behind-the-scenes crap. I said I wasn't going to do, writing emails, looking for pictures, trying to share the pictures Candy shared with us, which, like I said, is pretty crazy. I forget we can't share pictures over there on YouTube chat, but it's in the chat on TFR. So, lettuce. There's lettuce. There is lettuce. Where is it?
Well, I'm looking at this particular lettuce, talking about the science revealing the cannabis industry's greatest lie.
Yeah. That's way back.
That is way back, but we hadn't covered it. I hadn't even really looked at it, and I'm reading it, and it's blowing my mind.
Yeah, it blew my mind as well. Sorry, I'm trying to turn off my little ad blocker. Because apparently I have to. What is this now? Forbes is doing it. This used to be only space.com, and who else did this crap?
I take it they're demonizing cannabis?
No.
Uh-uh.
So here's the thing, and I found this out myself personally in Oregon while I was in the world of wonder of legalized cannabis. I did a lot of exploring.
I'm gonna miss it so bad.
I know, you will. I do. So I get there, and unfortunately, on most of my past trips, due to the circumstances of my family renting a home from someone who isn't on board with the legalization movement, and I get it. Apparently, the home she currently is renting to them was being used as a grow operation probably 4 years before all of the legalization was even a dream. It was back when it was still illegal, and it was quite a big issue for her. So that kept a bad taste in her mouth. So therefore, they're not. Of course, they wouldn't even if they were free to endeavor. But that makes it hard for me when I am there visiting, and most of my endeavors were in the edible or in the cartridges, the cannabis oil cartridges. Limited access to the flower. But the last couple of trips, things loosened up a bit, and I was able to endeavor quite a bit more. And as I always suspected and knew from personal experience, there is just nothing to equal flower. You take all of the constituent parts out of it, and you lose the synergy of the plant, and things just don't feel the same. You can get pain relief from CBD. You can get pain relief from super high CBD Rick Simpson oil. You can get pain relief from edibles and tinctures and all kinds of things. There's lots of relief to be had, but to get the full effect that you get, the full body effect and mind effect and spirituality effect of the plant that we're designed in our very essence to ingest, it's just not the same when you take those parts out. So playing around, learning this, as I've tried to find different types of oils to help mom with her issues with pain and nausea and sleeping and everything else, learning from the guy who was also going through some cancer issues with his dad that was the manager at the dispensary there, learning about terpenes and how important they are in that whole thing, trying to find relief, and how, again, the synergy of those parts of the plant and how they contribute to the good effects it can have for people. So let's see, how do I go? So average, and I'm just guessing here because I don't really know, I'm just guessing, but say average cannabis that is available for most illegal states that are just getting it from some guy they know on the street, that kind of thing. Average 15% THC. Really top end 18% THC. I mean, you're really going, oh, this is good stuff. 18% THC. So then you walk into a dispensary and their bottom shelf stuff starts at about 15 and 18% THC. And as you walk your way up the shelves, it can get on up there into the 25 to 26. Ooh, now we're in that 27% THC, and they're bragging, and oh, you can pay $15 a gram for cannabis of that quality. Well, this last trip, I started seeing 28%, 29%. And the last three types of cannabis I tried myself were at 30% THC, which is insane. And yeah.
Have you ever seen any of that white elephant strand?
I have not. The highest I saw were the three that I said, like at the end there, that were 30%. How much is the elephant?
41.
Oh my God! See, that's madness. That's madness.
Yeah, it's only one guy that can grow it, and I think he's up there in the Portland area. But yeah, it's just because my buddy up in Michigan, he was a grower for a while, and he was all into getting the THC count as high as he could, and he was sitting right about 28, and that was like he was one of the top ones in Michigan. But yeah, like 32 or 33 was the highest, and then this guy came out with something crazy.
That's fantasy
it was like
stuff.
41. Yeah, just totally out.
Nuts.
Like hitting 1,000 home runs in a season. Just something ridiculous.
And again, I'm being impressed by 41%. You heard me. What? Impressed. That's the thing about this story. And what I discovered as I worked my way up that scale and began to understand, like, okay, this is really pretty. It's called forbidden fruit. It's purple, and it's 28 point whatever percentage. Tastes amazing. Tastes like pure, I'm eating a grapefruit, literally. And that's something I don't, that's just an experience I had never had. But as I worked my way through it, I began to understand that it's just not affecting my head like I wanted it to. Even though it was an indica, it was supposed to help me rest and sleep and get really relaxed and stony, didn't really happen that way. And then there's the next one, and it's candy. It's called the candy, and it's super sticky, and it's white crystals all over, and beautiful smells and tastes, and it's 29%. And it's, I'm smoking it, but it's just, I'm just not feeling like I'm just baked. And then I'm like, trying to spend a little less money, and I get one that's at around, I guess, 19%. And I was baked to the gills, and it's like something's just not adding up here. Well, here's what we find out in this story. This is from Chris Roberts at Forbes magazine, or Forbes site, not magazine. Sorry, old habits die hard. And this is their Vices site area, whatever. He covers cannabis, cannabis capitalism, legalization, etc. So there's much more to cannabis than THC. For more proof of that, look at the CBD boom. But when it comes to moving product on the legal recreational market, two numbers matter: the list price and that THC content. Super potent cannabis flower with THC percentages of 25% and up dominate dispensary shelves. The high THC stuff sells out super quickly, and it definitely does go quick, while the lower stuff, percentage stuff, just kind of gathers dust there on the shelves. When cannabis tests at more than 25% THC, Dispensaries can justify charging $75 or more for a store-bought eighth because there's a very good chance people will pay for it, confident they're taking home the best and the most potent weed available. If the weed's in the teens, as far as percentages, well, it better be cheap. Problem is, that's all wrong. All of it. Totally wrong. THC shopping is almost as bad as buying wine based on how cool the label looks, which is also one of the things I noticed. The packaging and stuff there can get a little crazy. Anyway, not only does THC content have nothing to do with how good the weed is, as recent research conducted by the University of Colorado and published in JAMA Psychiatry found THC content is also a poor indicator of potency. High THC weed doesn't get you more high. Researchers at the University of Colorado at Boulder's Institute of Cognitive Science documented the experience of 121 cannabis users. Half the study participants were users of cannabis concentrates, very high THC cannabis extracts. Oh, and that's the other thing. Don't understand dabs. Just, side note, don't get it. Anyway, and the other half preferred. Sir?
It's a waste.
Exactly. A waste of money, waste of the parts of my brain that I can literally feel dying out. Anyway, very high THC concentrates, and the other half preferred cannabis flowers. Both groups received cannabis at varying strengths. Flower users tried cannabis flower at either 16% or 24% THC, and extract users received oil at either 70% or 90% THC. Good Lord. Researchers checked study participants' blood and monitored their mood, cognitive function, and intoxication level before, immediately after, and 1 hour after use. As the researchers expected, the concentrate users had very high levels of THC in their bodies after use, but they weren't more high. In fact, every participant's self-reported highness was about the same, as were their measures of balance and cognitive impairment, as CU noted in a news release. Medium THC flower, high THC flower, all the same high. Not at all what the researchers were expecting, nor was that what I was expecting as I was letting my money go into these guys' hands. Anyway, people in the high concentration group were much less compromised than we thought they would be, said co-author Kent Hutchinson, a professor of psychology who studies addiction, in a CU news release. If we gave people that high a concentration of alcohol, it would have been a very different story. And consider the cannabis flower users. 16% THC compared to 24% THC is a big difference. 50% stronger. How can users of such different strength products report such similar psychoactive effects? The short story is a theory that cannabis connoisseurs and cannabis scientists have been saying for years. There are many more factors at play than THC. But slightly longer, judging a cannabis strain on its THC content is not unlike judging a film based on the lead actor. The THC number is not going to be an indicator of the performance. One caveat, a large exception to this: edibles. If one edible says it has 100 milligrams of THC and another says it has 10 milligrams, and you eat the 100, you will absolutely be higher for longer than if you ate the 10. And that appears to be true for everyone I've ever talked to, except for me. And we'll talk about that after this story. There are a host of cannabinoids, including CBD, as well as more than 100 others, most of which aren't even tested for. Even if they were, would the average buyer even know what to do? There are also aromatic compounds called terpenes that dictate how cannabis affects the mind and body. All of these work in concert, a phenomenon known as the entourage effect. That is why synthetic THC simply doesn't have the same medical effects as smoking weed. As a side note, when the first story I ever read about a vaporizer way back in the late 80s, early 90s was in High Times. Someone had Marinol, which is the synthetic cannabis oil capsules they used to give to cancer patients, and was getting absolutely no effects from it, and realized that the only way to get that effect would be to remove that water molecule from the THCA and make it something different. So he created his own first vaporizer I'd ever heard about with a car, cigarette lighter element, and a temporary on-off button, and a little cup to contain the vapor, and he managed to use his Marinol and actually get some effects from it. Anyway, so yeah, synthetic THC just doesn't work out for most people. A good way, maybe the best way to determine if cannabis will be good or at least good for you, is to smell it. But in legal markets like California, that's now impossible. Pot is sold in prepackaged containers. I guess that's in California. It's not that way in Oregon. You used to be able to actually get your nose right down in the jar before all the new crap got put in place. As the coronavirus pandemic eliminated what limited opportunities there were to smell cannabis, some shops let you wave under your nose the designated smell jar, which has a few buds and a container with a perforated lid, but even that seems to have gone by the wayside. But back to the THC numbers. Cannabis researchers know it's not an indicator. Cannabis growers and sellers know it's bogus. And yet, here we are. The market simply hasn't caught on, and merchants, by putting high THC cannabis out on the shelves to satisfy the misdirected market demand, are ensuring that the misunderstanding continues. It's a shame, says Neil Della Cava, the co-founder of Gold Seal, a San Francisco-based cannabis brand that specializes in high-end flower. I find stuff that's absolutely amazing that I have to throw in the trash because it tests at 18 or 19%. You can send it to me. At that level, despite an amazing terpene profile, the best smoke I've ever had simply will not sell, he said. People just don't understand, he added. When people go shopping, they look for two things. They look for price, and they're looking for THC percentage. The THC fallacy persists despite everyone's best efforts. Both Instagram influencers as well as cannabis entrepreneurs and advocates have tried to explain that the THC number is at best a rough estimate, and a number that, depending on the lab that came up with it, might be inflated or suspect. With this much momentum, it's unlikely science will change anything. It will take a long time for buyers to adjust their habits and realize THC content isn't like alcohol by volume on a beer label after all. Until they do, connoisseurs can take advantage of the market inefficiency and take home superior pot with lower THC levels at a reduced price. Just require a little bit more work on the consumer's end. But it will also require cultivators of lower THC, high weed, to have demand high enough to keep them in business, and that's far from guaranteed. So there you go. That I can attest to. When I went back to the 18, 19% stuff, it definitely was a lot better than the stuff I was paying twice as much for, or hell, sometimes 3 times.
I'm going to take that into consideration. For sure.
I wish I could go test this out now that I've read this story, because I already, like I said, I already started realizing it as I was getting to the end there and buying all the 30% stuff and trying to be, just, impressed by the numbers. And then actually, as I consumed it, just really wasn't feeling what I thought should be, for what I was expecting anyway, for damn sure.
Oh, and the term, if anybody wants to go look it up, I mean, you could just put cooking cannabis and it would probably, you'd be able to find it, but decarboxylation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
That's the process of removing the water from the THC, and then it kind of activates it.
Yeah, if you're going to make edibles at all, that's almost unnecessary stuff. I know some people argue that when you're cooking it in the oven with whatever you're cooking it in, that does it, or blah, blah, blah. I'm like, no, trust me.
Yeah,
trust
not the same.
Work. It's not the same.
Yeah, that's why you don't get high just from eating it. You have to activate it. That's why when you smoke it, light it on fire right there, you're activating the THC in the plant.
Now, as far as the edible thing, I get it. You know, it's a personal body thing. I've had good experiences over the years with edibles, but never one of those experiences like I hear about, you know, where it's like, oh, I just couldn't handle it. It was too much. I guess my body, my tolerance level, I don't know. But even in Oregon, where I had access to medical grade edibles, not just commercial grade, but the medical grade ones, which can get up into 500, 600, ridiculous amounts in a chocolate bar. I ate one of those chocolate bars for my last trip home. Was that last trip out there? Yeah, no problem. No overreaction. No, not feeling at all like I had consumed 500 or 600 milligrams of THC. So yeah, it's just, I guess, me. I don't know. I ate oil while I was in pain. I ate different edibles that I was told by the different bud tenders would definitely do the trick. And, you know, finally one did do the trick. I slept, but I couldn't see spending $30 to sleep, you know, just to eat a piece of candy. I just don't.
They get expensive. They get real expensive.
Just don't get it.
Now, when we got our plot planted up there in Detroit, we celebrated and we ate 500 milligrams each. And yeah, I felt drunk the next day when I woke up. Those edibles just, yeah, they get me. I think we did like 300. That was the first time I did a lot of THC in an edible. That was Thanksgiving out there in the desert when we cooked that turkey on the fire. I felt like I was drunk. I got up after I was done eating and I went trying to walk around and I was like, holy shit, man, the earth might be moving. Yeah, those edibles, they affect people differently.
Definitely do.
I get a drunk feeling almost. It's definitely not like when you smoke it. It's totally different. But it's different for everybody, they say. Yeah, you got it. That's what they say if you're gonna try edibles for the first time, take it and then wait. It's not gonna kick in instantly. It's not gonna be like smoking it where, you know, 5 minutes later you're like, whoa. It's not gonna be like that. It's gonna take some time. It'll creep up on you. A lot of people make that mistake. They'll eat something and wait 10 minutes and not feel anything and eat more. And then when it does start kicking in, then they're like, oh, shit. Yeah, like anything, you know. Whenever you play and experiment around with things, you always start small. And then, you know, increase if you dare from there. That's why I bought a hand crank Van de Graaff generator. I didn't want to kill myself.
Yeah, right, for sure. That's where you start small.
Mm-hmm. So we're just about coming up on our last break here.
Wow, I just was checking that and see that is correct. Yes, it is. Well, I guess when we get back, we'll dig a little deeper into the pile.
That'd be good.
So the moon exploded back in 1178, apparently.
Sure. Why not?
And then apparently our own government intended to blow the moon up in a secret mission. They planned on blowing the moon up back in the heyday of the atomic race, I guess. We'll find out, I guess, about that a little bit, possibly.
Well, we're probably going to get into what happened immediately after they got back from Antarctica. Would be my
nice.
That would be my guess. Oh, what the hell do I know? Always underestimate the stupidity of the government. Always.
Have you guys heard about the weather up in Siberia?
Is it cold?
Just real quick. No.
Oh.
It went over 100 degrees.
Damn. That's not cold at all.
Yeah. Up there in the Arctic, got over 100 degrees. So they say. I'm not there.
Huh.
I don't believe shit they tell me, so. But yeah, I guess it's warm up there. It hit 90, something like that last year. So,
I wonder how unique it is. Or if this is just reporting now because global warming.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And we'll be right back. Right after this.
Extendivite is more than just a heart tonic. Do you have any of these symptoms? Night cramps in the hands and feet. Your arms and legs often go to sleep. On short walks, do your legs get aches and pains? Is your memory worse than it used to be? Ankles that swell late in the day? Has your blood pressure increased lately? If you answered yes to even one of these questions, you may have early warning signs of arterial blockages. Your body is saying that it is time to take Extendivite. These are not the normal signs of aging. They are the warning signs that accompany blocked arteries. Get your Extendivite today. Extendivite is available in capsule or liquid form for just $69.95 for a 2-month supply. To get started, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's a great product. And the one thing I like about it the most is that when you open the bottles, you can smell like the scent of the fruits and veggies. It's no genius thing to it. It's really just fruits and veggies, which everyone needs. And you guys kind of put it in a way where you can take it easy and you can get it, and it's natural, and that's what I like about it. You know, I like the product, and I've taken it, and it's definitely made me feel a lot better. You know, I'm a healthy person to begin with, but it's definitely good prevention, and it's definitely gives me energy, and I feel like it's a natural thing. I like it. I really do.
For a limited time, use discount code TALK to receive a 50% discount on your first preferred whole health system and have it shipped to you free. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Again, use discount code TALK.
For 5,000 years, the world was ruled with wooden ships by one man. 242 years ago, a small group of free men crafted a new nation built on liberty and freedom. Global elites have been fighting to destroy this new nation called America ever since. Based on actual events, Charm of Favor tells a true story of how they corrupted the election system. They infiltrated federal agencies and murdered witnesses, judges, and even presidents to keep from being caught. Now, the largest and wealthiest crime syndicate the world has ever known has been drawn out of the shadows. They have killed hundreds of Americans and recently attempted to assassinate half our congressmen. Still, they escape arrest through an almost supernatural charm of favor. Read Charm of Favor and be prepared to open your eyes to what may lie just around the corner. Charm of Favor is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
We are TFR.
My faith in destiny is all I need to prevail. Truth Frequency Radio.
Gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as a force. Gravity is not a force, but you can think of it as a force.
Here's a message of importance to millions of people who are continually pale and washed out, weak and run down. Doctors will tell you that these conditions are often caused by a deficiency of iron. The iron you need to keep you physically fit and mentally alert. Medical studies show that 2 out of 3 women and many, many men lack the daily iron your body requires.
How dare you!
In a form your body can easily use and put to work. Every dose gives you more than your daily minimum iron requirement.
We are awake, we are awake, we are not alone. We are striving for more.
So if you're not getting the iron your body needs, if you feel weak, run down, and are easily upset, start taking iron today.
That's just for you, Zach.
I love that.
And welcome back to the fourth and final segment of the Ironworx, right here on Truth Frequency Radio. Digging into some lettuce, space lettuce. We had another balloon story. I know I read a balloon story, space tourism, bogus thing a couple years ago. At least. Let's see, what else did we have in here? Man, Walter's putting all kinds of stuff in here. Ooh, this is super hard-hitting reporting here going, pooping now gets easier for astronauts as the International Space Station finally gets a toilet upgrade. How's that for just earth-shattering information?
Gets what?
A toilet upgrade. So pooping is easier. The International Space Station gets a new system of toilets fitted soon that will make sending mixed-gender crews on missions together convenient. These toilets have been made by NASA's Universal Waste Management Systems. This new technology will replace the current toilets that were designed in the 1990s. The newly designed toilets have redesigned the shape and volume of the seat. It'll be simpler to use and even treats urine so that it can be safely processed by the recycling systems present at the station. And it goes on.
Wait. Haven't they been drinking their piss since they've been up there?
Probably.
Or the Russians piss? The Russians won't do it, I guess. But yeah, they've been doing that. Okay, so nothing new so far. They've changed the seat.
Yes. New toilets.
I can't wait to see how much this thing costs. Okay, proceed, sorry.
I'm sure they're not even going to get into it. In a report given by the space agency, NASA revealed that the current toilets had a number of problems, and that needed solving. The review said that the toilet was sensitive to crew alignment on seat and can result in the inadvertent fouling the collection hardware with fecal material. They're just crapping all over stuff up there in the ISS, apparently.
Weren't they all sharing like a communal, like, mitt thing? Oh, good Lord. But no, this is worse, apparently. Okay, whatever.
$23 million, by the way, for this toilet. Just throwing that out there. They've changed the seat so far.
And guys, look, I'm gonna give it up. It's our secret. Women, don't ever walk into a men's restroom. Men are animals. Men are freaking animals. I hate to use a men's restroom out in public. So yeah, I can't imagine sharing a toilet with men up in a confined space station. But I'm sure, being that they're all, lizards. Professionals, that it's all going to work out in the end.
I would rather them shit in their hand and throw it at the wall than spend $23 million on a toilet.
Damn monkeys in space.
Young people I could feed. $23 million, good Lord. Oh.
I think they are rebooting Planet of the Apes.
So the review said that the toilet was, I already said that. But apart from this, the outdated models have been proven to have been so unsuccessful in the capture and ease of use for the simultaneous urination and defecation for mixed gender crews. The new toilet will also come with a hooking system. Sorry, there's a bad joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, don't even stop.
That is already in use in the Russian part of the ISS. This will help the astronauts hook their feet under some tow bars to get a better grip and stay anchored while using the loo. Till now, the U.S. toilets had bars located at a higher height. The brand new Universal Waste Management System will be delivered to the space station sometime in the fall and will remain on the ISS until the end of the station's lifetime, which is probably what they said in the 90s.
So they changed the shape of the seat and put in some
tow hooks.
Tow hooks. $23 million.
Tow hook.
Oh, I'm not going back to bed. No, my blood is, I'm awake. I'm ready.
I'm going to spend all day shopping on Amazon, seeing how long it takes me to spend $23 million. What can I buy for $23 million?
Yeah, that's irritating.
I wonder how many things you can put in a shopping cart on Amazon. How high they'll.
That's got to be one of the worst jobs in the world. NASA's budget guy.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the guy that has to clean out the new toilets.
No, the guy who has to, make sense of spending $21 billion a year. Like, what are you going to spend it on? Well, $23 million on a toilet seat.
Oh, I got a toilet seat, right?
That's insane. And people are just okay with it. Yeah, whatever, okay.
Well, as we've learned over the years, that they spend, a quadrillion dollars on a hammer and $70 billion on a bolt and screw, and it's not any surprise. I mean, they've had to, get us used to that, get us ready for that kind of expenditure. Because, I mean, back in the 60s, 50s, they had to come up with, big, huge plans to justify the money expenditure. It's like blowing up the moon.
The materials and the labor alone, you have to multiply it by lots and lots. It's crazy. Is it like research and development? Because they didn't do anything. There was
definitely didn't.
What did you spend all that time on, research and development? There's only one of them. It's not like they're mass producing these things. There's one of them. They had to make one, and probably a prototype. But that's it. Did they say when it's going to be up there? Is it already up there? Did it magically appear one day?
Sometime in the fall.
Like the rest of the station?
It'll be up there.
Oh, sometime this fall.
Yeah.
I hope. Oh, that'd be great. Nah, they wouldn't put it out then. I'm sure they already have the video all done for it. I bet it's like a movie. I bet they have the whole video and all this shit laid out a year ahead of time. 6 months ahead of time. It's already shot. I wouldn't doubt it. And they still fuck up all the time. But are they doing it on purpose?
Well, if it's
I
not
love
already
James
shot, they've
Cruz.
at least got it storyboarded out somewhere. I bet you there's a room full
Oh,
of
yeah.
Post-it notes that say toilet on it. Tow hook.
Tow hook. And change the seat. 23 minutes, that's ridiculous.
Well, you need to have stories like this. With a budget like that, you have to justify it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
And you just...
Like I said, that's got to be one of the worst jobs. Nope, not going to do it.
Well, it's probably a fucking contest. You probably get a bonus.
Coming up with ideas.
Right. The more bullshit that you can justify without ever actually having to spend money, then you get a big bonus at the end of the year. And there's, 5 guys working for NASA all high-fiving in a room somewhere because they got $23 million for a fucking toilet seat. And a tow hook. There you go.
They should have had Elon Musk design it. I want to see his design of a toilet seat.
I don't want to get started.
Did you see he was already writing on his child?
Uh-uh.
He was using him like a billboard. Writing stuff on his face and then taking pictures of him.
Well, why not?
What's his name? Xenon Bloom or something like that? I don't know. Or no, it's XJ74219 or something like that, isn't it? I don't think it's going to catch on, Elon. I'm sorry. Throwing numbers into your name and stuff like that. You got to give me a floating car first.
I'm a third. Thank you very much.
Or you go out and you dig a hole in the ground. Right? How exciting is that? So you call yourself the Boring Company. I get it. SpaceX. Uh-huh. The big phallic rockets. I get it. Space sex. No, I get it. He's just a troll. That's when you have
not
too
even
many
a good
dollars
one.
and not enough sense.
If you listen to the man speak for 30 seconds, it doesn't take long. You can tell he's not intelligent. He's not Tony Stark. He's not elegant with words. He is very...
Tony the Tiger.
You could tell he grew up in a room somewhere and sitting in front of a computer screen, not socializing with anyone. And now all of a sudden he's a cool guy, and he's trying to act cool.
They're real. Because they look so fake.
$23 million. Wow. And I know it's nonsense. I know all the money is just numbers and, they're just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But they're just numbers. All the material is still all the same crap. There's only so many, bits and pieces that we have access to on this plane, at least that we can get to. And it doesn't matter how many zeros you add behind a number and put an amount on something, there's still only that much of that substance. Yeah, there needs to be a reset with the whole number thing. We need to start over where things cost like 1 again.
Nope, I agree. At some point, it just gets to be ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of pointless. We're going to turn into, what was it? It's Japan. It's like 100,000 yen is like nothing.
Mm-hmm. So it appears CERN's just got approved plans for a $23 billion super collider.
Oh, yeah, it needs to be bigger.
Yeah, 100 kilometers. 62
there's
miles.
a bunch of physicists just talking crap about this thing already.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Saying, you guys haven't made a breakthrough in a while, and now you just want to go blowing more. Is the money really worth your half-ass theories?
But the name of it is really interesting. It's the
Ooh,
so-called
what are they naming it?
Future Circular Collider. But think of the implications that could have. With the idea that CERN being blamed for many of the Mandela effects and weird things going on. Time is an infinite loop. And this will help us collide with the future. The Future Circular Collider. Smashing particles together at over 100 TeV of energy to create many more of the elusive Higgs bosons, the first detected by CERN back in 2012. This Higgs factory would be the key to helping physicists learn more about dark matter and other mysteries of the standard model of physics. Mysteries of the standard model of physics. Mysteries. Standard model of physics. Mysteries. Things they don't have any idea about.
And again, $23 billion, does it really justify it? To try to figure out what makes up your fictitious atoms? You know, I'll be impressed when you can look in a microscope and see an atom that doesn't have any digital parts to it. Then I'll buy an atom when I can go look at it myself.
Why was that so slow? That was weird and creepy.
It was. Well, we got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
Yeah, even this article says that, they're planning on breaking ground somewhere in 2038. But there's no funding for it. And it's going to be a hard sell given that they don't have any clear goal the way the Large Hadron did. So, there it is. If anybody wants to go out there and waste $28 billion, there you go. Oh, 23 billion.
Yeah, GoFundMe. Go for it, guys.
Yeah, go fund
That's what
yourself.
NASA should have to do. Yeah, NASA will be super generous and give them $1 billion a year. We'll just cut their budget a little bit. And then everything else has to be funded by the American people, GoFundMe style. Here's $1 billion. Do whatever you can. You're wasting money, spending $23 million on a toilet seat. So you get $1 billion, and the rest, you need some results. No more government sector bullshit. We're going to start treating them like the private sector.
You've had astronauts crapping all over the toilets for the last 30 years. Seriously? All that money? And you can't either train them to hit the hole or create a hole they can hit.
Aren't they supposed to be the best of the best? And they can't shit in the toilet? I mean, we all had this down at 3, 4, 5 at the latest.
It's a bumpy ride, up there. You try shitting in zero gravity. You just become a rocket yourself. That's why you gotta have toe hooks. Otherwise, you just keep bumping your head.
Yeah, it's just such a farce, the stuff that they come up with. It's hard. Most people aren't looking, though. At least I hope. Because if they're looking and they still believe all this stuff, then...
Aw. Walt included a story. It looks like scientists are at least getting a little bit smarter. If this isn't proof for evolution, then I don't know what is. It would appear that scientists have now grown mini brains, and those mini brains contain Neanderthal DNA. So way to go, scientists, evolving, getting mini brains. I mean, it's Neanderthal brains, but that's what it says.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we now know that many of us are part Neanderthal, with our genes carrying traces of past encounters between our early ancestors and the Stone Age hominins that populated Europe around 40,000 years ago. Evidence that early humans interbred with Neanderthals emerged in 2010 after scientists led by geneticist Svante Pabo pioneered methods to extract, sequence, and analyze ancient DNA from Neanderthal bones and mapped their genome in I get it, like in a lab. That's not exciting. I was hoping scientists had evolved. We were going to get things better than dark matter and $23 million toilet seats. But nope, not even mini brains. They're just growing them in the lab.
Growing brain, okay.
Brain organoids, 3D blobs of brain tissue, just a few millimeters wide, and only just visible to the naked eye. Organoids, which can mimic in a rudimentary way many human organs, can be used to test the specific effects of drugs safely outside the body, something that has revolutionized and personalized areas such as cancer treatment.
No, I don't want their drugs.
And I was just being silly. I really knew what the headline meant. I just thought it was funny the way it was worded.
Nope. If you have something wrong, cure it. Don't take drugs to dull the side effects of your illness. So most plants, you can figure out how to do it with plants. Maybe some minerals you might need. But all the stuff's out there in nature that you need. You really don't need to go to these people. You may need to find somebody that knows what direction to point you in, somebody with some knowledge. But those people are out there. You can find them. You have the Library of Alexandria at your fingertips. It's worth it. Do the research. It's about time to go, gentlemen.
Damn near. Pictures of Neanderthals are funny.
Yeah, they are.
Why do they give them such derpy expressions, I wonder?
When I was down there in Dallas, there were some African-American gentlemen that were in their African garb talking about how the white man did this and the white man did that. And we were just walking by, and he's like, one guy pointed at me, he was like, "You came from that," and pointed at Neanderthal. And I just said, those are extinct, man. If they were ever a thing, nobody came from that. It's like, you were created, I was created. And then I just walked away. But yeah, it's yeah, but it was a funny picture of a Neanderthal. I think it was the Geico guy.
That's good stuff. Anyway, gentlemen, love you, and I will talk to you soon.
Love y'all. Thank y'all so much.
Love y'all.
Friday morning.